Hey, Joe, mic check.
Here we go now, baby. We are right back into the action for another day of the week. Big sports day today. Major League Baseball playoffs, NBA kicking off, NHL 1-1 yesterday with a rainout. back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Coming off a 1-1 day with a rain out there yesterday, so we're going to look to improve upon that. Jeez, what a day we have in the world of sports here. Two Major League Baseball playoff games. The NBA kicks off tonight. Full slate of action in the NHL as well. Guys, do me a favor. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit that like button, hit that sub button right down there as well. Okay, that is enough small talk. Let's get right into the action. 4 total picks across 3 different sports. We're going to start things off in New York City, deciding game. So yesterday in this game, I picked the Guardians to move on. I'm going to stick with that pick, just so you know, for all the same reasons as yesterday. So you can go back and watch yesterday's video if you want a further breakdown, or that's up on my Twitter as well. But there's another pick that I love in this game. It is also a plus money pick, and it is for Nasty Nestor Cortez to go under the strikeout total. It's sitting there at 3.5 plus 130. Great number on this one. So, of course, a big story. Nasty Nestor pitching on just 3 days rest here. For what it's worth, he has only started a game on 3 days rest once on September 10th, 2019 versus the Tigers. He allowed 4 runs, 2 earned, and 6 hits over just 2 1/3 innings. And a very high pitch count. It's very unlikely in this one. You know, what's the best case scenario here? 3 innings maybe? You know, Jameson Taillon is ready to go, as he was yesterday. The bullpen is rested and ready to rock. So expect a very short leash here. The first sign of trouble, he could be out of there. And he wasn't on a short leash in Game 2. He threw 92 pitches, but still, he only had 3 strikeouts in that game. That's a norm versus this Guardians team. The lowest strikeout percentage in baseball for the entirety of the regular season. So give me Nasty Nestor under 3.5. Next up, Game 1 of the NLCS out in San Diego. Let's leave the bullpens out of it, and I'm going to take the Phillies. First 5 innings coming in at -105. So this is all about the man on the bump for the Phillies, Zach Wheeler. Look what he's done in the first 5 innings here. He's been extremely dominant. Over his last 5 starts, which includes 2 in the playoffs, he's allowed 1 total run in the first 5 innings of those games. He's been great in the playoffs so far. Just 8 base runners allowed, 12.1 innings of work. You Darvish on the man here for the Padres. Quite simply, this man cannot be trusted in the playoffs. A playoff ERA of 4.60, so who knows what you're going to get from him. And the Phillies hitting has just been extremely clutch in the playoffs here so far. A 921 OPS with runners in scoring position. Padres down there at 644. Phillies also striking out a lot less, so we will take Philadelphia to roll, at least in the first 5 innings in this one. Next up, we are on to the National Basketball Association opening night. There's a prop that I like, and I like it a lot, for a guy named LeBron James, and his point, rebound, and assist total sitting there at 41.5. Boom! I like the over on this one very, very much, coming in at -106. So he comes to play versus the Golden State Warriors. Motivation shouldn't come into question ever versus Golden State, especially in an opening night game. And look at what he did against them last season. 3 games, he averaged 56 points plus rebounds and assists in those games. And this is still below his season average from last season. He averaged 44.7 PRA, notably averaging 30.3 points per game. So expect him to do the bulk of the scoring here tonight and go over that 41.5 PRA. And we're going to wrap things up on the ice, where unfortunately my run of 2-0 to start the season came to an end last night in overtime. The Red Wings lost to the Kings, so we're going to look to pick up a W here tonight. It is for an underdog. It is for the Boston Bruins, coming in at +105 tonight in Ottawa versus the Senators. Now, you might be thinking, oh, Joe, it's the second game of a back-to-back. Cut the crap! I don't want to hear it for a goddamn second, because you should not sweat the situation for the Bruins tonight. This team is set up strongly for this spot. They're going to have Jeremy Swayman in net tonight. He had a 2.08 goals against average on the road last season. The lack of rest maybe shouldn't be that big of a concern, only a week into the regular season where players are still relatively fresh. Now, the Bruins are looking like a pretty serious contender here. They come out absolutely flying, starting 3-0 under a new head coach, winning each game by at least 2. Some high-quality competition there with Florida and Washington. Second in high-danger chances percentage, by the way, for the Bruins. And they just absolutely own the Ottawa Senators. My God, 13-2 in their last 15 against them. 8-1 in their last 9 games in Ottawa. I mean, the Bruins there, plus money. Great number on them. Okay, so there you have it, guys. 4 total picks for the sports world today. Jam-packed day. It's a good day to have multiple screens running, I would say. So if you're looking to tail any of these picks or fade them for some reason, I recommend checking out BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Kick off the new pro football season with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS. Your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VIBONUS, all one word, no spaces, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Indeed. There you have it. Okay, guys, so big sports day. No NFL going on, but let's talk a little NFL right now. So 6 weeks in the rearview mirror. A lot of teams disappointing to start who were expected to be contending for the Super Bowl. You know, the Bucs, the Packers, the Rams, what is going on? Also, a lot of surprise teams so far this season. So let me ask myself, I guess. I already know the answer. Who's the biggest fraud in the NFL so far this season? You know, we got a couple of good contenders here. The New York teams. Let's be fair, though. I think everyone would consider them average at best, even though they each doing pretty good in the win-loss department. You know, maybe the Chargers, who we saw last night. Was anyone impressed by that win? Absolutely not. The Tennessee Titans sitting there with a winning record somehow. But the answer to the question, who is the biggest fraud in the NFL? It pains me to say this, guys, because I was very high on this team coming into the season. But the biggest fraud in the NFL this season is the Minnesota Vikings. Sitting there at 5-1, but just 2-4 against the spread. And let me tell you, guys, all wins aren't created equal. So let's dig into this Vikings team a little bit. You know, congratulations on struggling to beat the Lions and the Bears and needing a lucky field goal to hit the Saints away over in jolly old England. And of course, they needed a lot of luck in their favor this past week versus Miami, where they lost the yards per play battle 6.3 to 4.7. A lot of luck in that game. They won the turnover battle 3-0. And the defense, they're going to be in trouble when they play a good offense. They're 29th in yards allowed per play, despite facing Jared Goff, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and Miami's backups. Now, offensively, this is supposed to be a very explosive team. They're right in the middle of the league in yards per play behind the likes of Cleveland and Jacksonville. Now, the one good team they did play, the Eagles, in week 2, they got absolutely embarrassed 24-7. But here's the interesting thing. I'm insulting this team. The Vikings, I'm putting them down. They're 5-1. But the interesting thing about them is they're just going to keep on continuing to win because they have an extremely easy schedule. The rest of the way, they got the Cardinals, the Washington football team, the Jets, the Lions, the Colts, the Giants, the Packers, the Bears. So, yeah, they're going to go over those over-under win totals, probably win the division as well after what we're seeing here with the Packers. So, basically, yeah, they're frauds. There's not a whole lot we can do about it, though. I guess we can wait till the playoffs get here and bet against them. But the moment they play a good offense, they're going to easily allow 30 points. This defense absolutely stinks. So there you have it. Minnesota Vikings, kind of turning my back on them a little bit after being so high on them coming in to the season. Okay, so if you like what we do here at Vegas Insider, you are going to want to check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcasts, props, trends, futures, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Yeah, VegasInsider app. Okay, guys. It is now time to get into some viewer picks here for today. A lot going on in the sports world. So while us producer Tito, we had a couple submissions today to bring up the first one. Okay, this is one I disagree with, actually. Alex G. He's entitled to his opinion, but home opening night against an unknown Lakers team with fresh drama. What do you mean, unknown Lakers team? I mean, yeah, some new faces there, new head coach, and the rush drama. Wouldn't the Draymond Green drama cancel that out completely? So one thing I want to point out, take a look at LeBron's last 8 games versus the Warriors. A win, a 2-point loss, a loss by 7, a win, a loss by 2, a win, a win. So he's 5-3 against them in his last 8. 2 of those losses coming by just 2 points, 1 by 7. Spread's now up to 7 points. I'm going to take the Lakers at +7 just for a little bit of opening night action. So sorry to say, Alex, I disagree with you on that one. What do we have next here? All right, our guy Kowloon City weighing in here. He likes the Harden over 33.5 PRA prop. Nothing really to go off of here. Yeah, he's being honest. Opening night, other than this is usually around 40 for him later in the season. He lost that weight. The hammy is good, but you never know. Doubt he plays his entire minute load. Yeah, you know what? We're seeing some low numbers for James Harden in terms of his props. This used to be in the 40s consistently. I don't know. Maybe a bit of recency bias after we saw him in the playoffs. He wasn't scoring as much. But yeah, like, James Harden's a great regular season player. You got to give him credit for that. And one thing that you can't give him credit for, and we're seeing it here in this breakdown, is, hey, James, congratulations on showing up in shape. It's not like you're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to be a professional athlete. Zion as well. Hey, look at the shape Zion's in, guys. He's a fucking professional athlete, for God's sakes. Giving him credit for that. Sour grapes for me, I guess, for some reason. Okay, what do we got next here? Okay, our guy, Nathan. He's been weighing in here lately, and he's got to go head-to-head with me here. I'm on Boston. He's on Ottawa, so his points for to back the Sens. Boston 3-5 in road games last year, and second of it back-to-back. Ottawa 4-1 at home last year when facing an opponent on the second game of a back-to-back. And perhaps a bait line, he's saying, since 2018 in previous matchups. The average line on Boston is -205. Shores being -140. And yeah, this is a guy whose last name I've been butchering. And I respect this guy. He's got to represent the Penguins here in his pick. His last name, I asked him to spell it out phonetically for us. And it's Schreckengost. Schreckengost. I hope I nailed it there for you, Nathan. So I would say good luck to you on that one, Nathan, but I wouldn't mean it because I'm on Boston. I'm putting my actual money on that. So I hope you lose that, and I hope I win. So some agreement and disagreement, that's a fun thing about sports, guys. We can disagree on this stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. It's fun. These people out there in social media, they take these sports arguments way too serious. I'll put something out there, my opinion on, hey, this team's great or this player stinks, and people will respond to me and completely fucking tell me off. Say some very mean stuff. Social media is funny, right? Like, occasionally people, I think I get it pretty good out there in gambling Twitter, which can be a bit of a sewer from time to time. But once in a while, maybe like once a month, I'll get some type of response or comment, and I step back and say, hey, that's actually a very mean thing to say. How dare you? So don't be a little chicken shit running your mouth there on Twitter, guys. Okay, it is now time for our Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com. Your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today we recognize Platinum Sports, who can be found on Twitter at Brian Bittler Wins. Platinum Sports nailed 4 straight MLB playoff winners, extending his run to 12-4 in his last 16 picks. Save $10 on Brian's Guardians at Yankees decisive Game 5 best bet in his NBA opening night pick by clicking on the link in the description below. The $10 discount will be applied during checkout. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. Woo! All right, so in and out in about 13 minutes, you get a quick show, and I'm flying solo here today, which tends to be the case on a lot of Tuesdays. So you're a lot coming up here at Vegas Insider, a lot coming up here on Chasing That Paper. Of course, tomorrow, Devin Walker will be in his traditional Wednesday spot, breaking down his favorite looks for college football. Make sure you're following Vegas Insider on Twitter. Lots of great information there. And guys, a lot of great UFC content coming up in anticipation of UFC 280 on Saturday. It is the event of the year in the UFC. Yesterday, I interviewed Marco Madsen, and we disagreed on the three big fights. So you're going to want to check that out. That should be up on our YouTube channel here shortly. And we're filming or recording the Pound for Pound Picks podcast. Ian McMillan joining me for that one, probably in about 45 minutes time here. So that will be up later today as well. So there you have it, guys. Great day in sports today. I wish you good luck with your picks, unless you were fading me like some of you guys out there. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!